I know this is your podcast, but I got to ask you a question if you don't mind. If I say the name Jim Cornette, what does
Oh my
that say
God.
to you? What does that say to you?
Well, Jim Cornette makes an impression on everybody. And according to the mood he's in, one of the greatest, I think the greatest talker in professional wrestling was Cornette. And he's great talking, just listening to him. I made a few trips with him and I was around him in Smoky Mountain, and he would all of a sudden he would just break out in this impromptu like promo, but he was actually talking about somebody. And he would whittle them down, whittle them down, whittle them down, and they felt like zero when he was done with them. But the guy, he's a wrestling historian. We don't agree on politics, but other than that, I love Jimmy. He was my. Who did he manage first? Do you know that?
No, I want you to ask me the same question I ask you.
What do you think of Jim Cornette?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I think of Jim Cornette. I'm gonna tell you what I think of Jim Cornette. I think he was a great manager, and every time, every time I crossed him in WWF or even in the smaller territories when we were together, he was always coming up to me and he'd say, "Hey Jacques, how you doing, Jacques? How you doing, Jacques?" And then WWF, "Hey Jacques, always nice to me, always kind to me."
Yeah.
And then when I left the WWF, I started hearing podcasts, and somebody sent me some messages that he was sending. Like he was sending out, like, "Oh, Jacques Rougeau, he's an asshole. He's this and he's that." And he cut me down. And it was like on a personal stand. And I was, you know what, Dutch? If ever I heard you cut me down, let me finish. If ever I heard you cut me down, I would be hurt because I've always loved you. I've always liked you. And when he cut me down like that, and people were making me listen because I was saying nice things about him, people were saying, "Well, he's not saying the same thing about you." And then and I've never crossed paths with him yet, but I can't wait for that day to just be very humble and polite to him and come up to him and say, "Jimmy, you fooled me. You fooled me because you always were nice to me when you met me, when you crossed paths with me, and when we crossed in the dressing rooms, and that's not what you thought of me." I said,
What do you think? What do you think happened?
I think he never liked me. I guess he was just acting, or I don't know, but he was always so nice to me. But it's hard for me to comprehend. It would be the exact same thing, Dutch, as like I said, if someone would come up to you and say, "Hey, I heard Jacques Rougeau do a podcast and talk about you like you were a double crosser, you were a two-faced, or you were this," and I'm sure you'd be hurt because I always told you that I loved you, and I always told you.
I would actually, what I'd do, I'd get on a plane and I would fly one way to Montreal and I would track you down. And
that's how I feel, but I don't think I would gain anything by going to.
No, you wouldn't. But I don't know what happened, but see, I've always loved Jimmy, always. And if I heard that he would call me a no good SOB, or that would hurt me too.
So I hope just one day, Dutch, if ever you cross paths with him again, that you explain that to him, that you tell him that he's I don't know if it was free talking or free just being free, like entertaining some people that don't like me and just joining in the club or whatever. And because I'm not liked by everybody, I gotta admit there. There's something I gotta explain to you, Dutch. And if I'm honest, and I've always been honest, you have normal people. You have normal people that are here, and then you have autistic people that are here, and I should be somewhere around here
in the middle.
Yes. So I have a little bit of both. So I had a lot of heat sometimes.